Conversation on the Couch
with
Rachel and Tebby.
It's an honor to be back, and today we just thought we should share on something that is really personal. Some of us have been through it. I personally have.
Yeah, everybody. I think everybody has been through it. Yeah.
And it's depression, mostly if you're living and working abroad.
Yeah, depression. Not just abroad, my dear.
I think everywhere. But I think for us in our African setting, we tend to undermine it.
Yeah, we tend to undermine it.
We don't talk about being depressed.
You know, it was when I got to this country that I see that they take it as something special. In fact, they talk about it in the office, they talk about it in the children's school and everywhere. Then I now know, it is a serious issue.
I think for me as well, when I started working here, I got to learn that some of my colleagues were going off work, and then when you ask what's the problem, someone will say that I'm actually depressed, and that someone can actually take time off work and be out.
I think with depression, it's a state of they call it it's been categorized under mental health issue. It is a problem. So when you are depressed in this country, when I first got into this country, my husband worked with the train station, and at times he just comes home so unhappy and depressed. I'll say, what is it? You say, do you know that someone died on the rail? I'll be like, what happened?
It's very common.
You say, yes, because they are depressed. I'm like, oh, whoa.
And they decide to take their life.
To take their life, you know. And, you know, with that in Africa, it's not something that is common.
I think for me, I got into that state. I wasn't aware that I was in that state when I just arrived. I had obviously left my home country, left my siblings, my parents, everyone that I'd ever known for 27 years. I came when I was 27 years and come into a new environment. My husband then obviously had to go to work. So it was strange me being at home, trying to figure life out, no friends, no community to, just out of the blue, call on, check on, or even like say hello to your neighbor. It's very different, when you come into this country. And when we moved into Peterborough, because as soon as I came in, we moved into Peterborough. And by 6 p.m., everyone is inside their house. No one to talk to. So I felt lonely, like I would feel lonely as much as my husband wasn't around, but I would feel so lonely and
everybody
sad.
Would think you have everything, you need.
Everyone thinks you have everything.
You are married, you have a baby. I mean, so people would think, but you are depressed, you are the one feeling it.
I was trying to figure myself out. I'd come from a very well-to-do place. I had a very good job, well-paying, lots of privileges, and then I come into a new environment with no friends, no connections.
All of a sudden, everything just changed.
And I'm starting from scratch because I had to now start look for a new job, and then started out as a call center agent from someone who was, being in and out of the country. So for me, that made me I felt worthless, like my value had completely diminished, and all I looked forward to was longing for home, longing for my friends,
someone to talk to,
someone to talk to. And I remember even walking around the streets looking for a church, thinking, okay, maybe if I enter if I enter in there, I might
someone will be able to understand you,
or just be able to speak to someone else of color. Because you come in, and this town by then there weren't very many Africans, very it would be
during those days before you can see an African, you would have walked for like maybe 10 miles before you can there's a black person.
And also I think for me the challenge was when I got into work as well. Some of the colleagues I thought that's an African brother. I might go over there and talk to them. They're not willing to talk.
Everybody's busy.
And if you've experienced that.
My own experience was when I had to change my job, because then I am a financial crime investigator. And I had to change my job because, it was during the COVID, we were working from home, it was easy, you are able to attend to your kids, and all of a sudden we were told to go back to the office. And for me, I've got 3 lovely kids. My 3 lovely kids goes to 3 different schools. So with the 3 different schools, I will have to juggle work, school runs, school drop-off, and school pick-up. So it was so intense for me then that during my break, what I do with my break time is trying to call who is going to pick my son here, who is going to pick my daughter here. So I had to drop that job. And I will never forget that night. It was a very long night for me to make that decision. And I felt so depressed. Nobody could talk. Throughout that week, I felt like a failure, because this is my career, something I love to do so much. But because I had to make an important decision.
Sometimes, I think it was Michelle who said this in her book. She said, yes, as women, we can have it all, but not at the same time.
Not at the same time. Yeah.
And I think having to let go of something you want.
You work towards, something I work towards, something I really love doing. But now that I love doing it, what about my children? That matters to me as well. They need me at that moment, because now I had to drop my job because I had to now choose which one is most important to me.
What's most important?
I now had to choose that, yes, now my children needs me.
And I think it's coming to that self-realization and saying, okay, this is not a very good state to be in.
Yeah.
How can I come out of it?
Exactly.
Because
it's very important. How can you come out of it? Some people is, how can you come out of it? Some people is, how can you manage it?
Or how can you manage it as well? Yes, because it can actually take over your life if you let it. It can take over your life. So for me, I think the realization was, don't give the devil too much attention. Because there are people out there who would have appreciated the position that I was in. I mean, I was in the UK. I was in a new environment. I was earning pounds. So let all those small voices, put them aside. Appreciate. Have gratitude.
We were talking about something this morning that this depression, loneliness, and anxiety we are talking about can be like a seed planted. When a seed is being planted, it germinates and it can take over the place. So if you feel this is what is bothering you,
it's holding you down,
and you've planted that seed. So you planting that seed, it germinates. When it germinates, it takes over your thoughts, takes over your whole being. You can't even function anymore. So how do you manage this type of situation? Because it can be a long process. Look at me leaving my job. To get another job can be a long process. Look at you relocating. How do you manage the situation that you are in? You relocate to come to this country. Definitely, for the truth is that this is where you'll be living now.
And
so
that's why I also wanted to be. So one thing that I decided to do was to be grateful. And say, okay, I'm here, I'm in this country. Let me enjoy it. Since I'm here, as much as I'm still trying to figure myself out, I've not yet gotten to the position that I want to be. Yes, I'm in that contact center. Let me make the best out of it. And once that clicked, I went all in, became the best that I could be in my job as well.
With the gratefulness. In fact, it is. I was talking to my husband about being grateful this morning. We were talking about someone that complains so much. I said, those people that complain so much, they are so blinded by their complaints that they don't see what is right in front of them that they need to appreciate. That when you keep complaining, it's just like the children of Israel. They kept on complaining. They didn't even appreciate that God that was bringing them from Egypt. They keep complaining. When you keep complaining, you will never see that good thing right in front of you for you to be appreciative
or even to make it better and hold on to it.
Because when you appreciate something, definitely you nourish that thing, you make it better. But when you keep complaining, you fall into depression that yours is not even better, yours is not even, is not something that is acceptable. Meanwhile, when you keep nourishing that thing, when you appreciate it, you make it better.
I think it's also that state of constant worrying, and one person said that worry is one thing that won't add an extra hour onto the day. So even if you're worried, even if you're anxious, it won't add anything whatsoever. And I normally say this, that there is a world that I want to be part of. There is a world that I see. But there are times that I wake up and I feel so tired and drained. But then I remember that if I choose to give up, everyone else will move on.
Of course.
Even your spouse, your children, your friends, everyone will move on. So you make a conscious decision. I made that conscious decision and said, you know what? I have got to also move on. I choose to move on with the world.
Because you know, with that state of depression we talked about, that is a state of mental health issue. With depression, with you feeling anxious, or you know, the anxiety part of it, you feeling lonely, you know, it can even cause sickness into your life. Because in a situation where you are depressed, you don't have time to take care of your body. You don't have time to check your BP. You don't have time to even eat healthy. You don't even have time to even think of yourself, that it can even make you fall sick. You know, in a situation whereby you are sick, how do you take care of your body? Because you've allowed depression to now breathe in what is not into your system, which is something.
And I think as well, you know, letting go of your own challenge and seeing someone else's challenge can help. How? By putting, say, someone else's burden, like going out knowing, okay, I'm struggling with this, but so and so is struggling with this. How do I help? That takes a shift. A shift from you constantly thinking about how miserable you are and trying to actually make something meaningful out of your life by extending help onto someone else. So being part of either a community, a church, a group,
someone to talk
to and share.
Because now we are talking about how we can manage it. And we saying how we can manage this thing. When you have a community that you can talk to, I have a fellowship I attend on a Zoom call every other Wednesday, and I always look forward to it. It's not like I don't have friends. It's not like I don't have family to talk to. But I look forward to this community, that these are the people I pray with. I pray together with them. At times you even put your prayer point down, that yes, you want them to pray for you and all that. It is a community. And I have friends I can call. Like this morning we saw ourselves, we've discussed, we've talked about life issues and all that. You know,
and
things like that, I think it matters.
Having a light laugh, a light side to things, not taking things too seriously.
You know, just treating yourself. Like this morning we've had coffee together. We've laughed. There are some things that we should even cry together. We just laugh. You remember? You remember the last time? Before your wedding. You know, there was something that happened between me and my friend. And that day she called me. I was so busy. When I saw her, I said, Rachel, the way you called me, you scared me. She was like, Debbie, I needed to see her. And
I needed someone to speak to.
I needed someone to speak to. I said, Rachel, are you okay? She said, I'm okay. You are fine. The children are fine. She said, yes, she's fine. She now told me what she was going through. I now laughed. She was now looking at me like this, Debbie. I said, you know what? I've gone through it before. She said, okay. I said, I've gone through it before, and look at me, I'm still standing. So don't take it as anything. I've gone through it before, because I didn't tell you that. Babe, I've gone through it before. And you know, we now laugh together. And I believe with the way I approach it, it now, you know, lifts your spirit. Like, okay,
it's like, okay, someone else has gone through it. So,
and she's still standing.
They're an overcomer. So I too can do it. So that's the whole point of sharing, having a group, or having a friend, someone that you can
talk to.
Someone that you can talk to.
There's this habit now sorry, I keep referring to that my life group. There's this habit now. We now keep telling people, please call that person if it comes up in your mind that yes, I just remembered Rachel now. Maybe you just thought of Rachel. Even if it's a text message, send it to that person right away. Even if you just thought of that person, even if it's a call, let that person see your missed call, and she'll be like, yes. Okay, I'm remembered. Someone cares.
It goes a long way.
Rachel, you don't want to know. A lot of people are going through depression, especially in this country. You see mothers going through depression. You see, there was just my sister. I have the sister. She went through that depression, and it scares me. I keep reminding her of who she is. Do you remember your identity? This is who you were. This is what you've achieved in the past. And that thing, before she could get out of that thing, oh my God, she went through a lot. But when she now came out shining. She was able to work on a whole lot of things in her life. And I say, if this is what depression brought out of you, oh my goodness, yes, this is yes. Because she was able to work on herself. So at times what you just need is for someone to be there to remind you that this is who you are. This is what you are planning to do. Exactly. Because that thing can bring one down to nothing.
It can. And I think also like having allowing yourself that time to be happy.
Yeah.
Or to experience something new. This is coming from a mother's perspective, whereby when you wake up, you're thinking about someone else.
Yeah.
You go to work, you're still thinking about someone else.
Who is the person you are thinking
You
of?
come back home, you're still thinking about someone else.
Yeah.
So who thinks about
you?
You know,
it's you that you have to think about you.
Sorry, you still have to be the one that will think about yourself.
Because I'm sorry to say, even our husband, it's not like they think about us all the time.
Unless you nudge it. I remember saying to my husband, it was towards Valentine's. I was like, by the way, I need this and this. Like I was very clear.
I do that.
Very clear. Like you have to be very specific. Please, I need flowers. I don't need saucepan. Don't buy me saucepan.
And we'll use together. Buy something for
blender.
Me. No.
We'll use blender
together. I know.
So you need to be intentional. Being intentional. Giving yourself an experience, like taking yourself out of the norm. We were sharing today this morning, and I said, okay, I had to ensure that everything was prepped for, because I'm giving this time to us. This is our time. So there are days whereby I'll wake up and I'll be like, you know what, I do deserve a breakfast that I've not cooked myself.
You know, at times I feel like that. At times when I drop off my kids, and at times when I'm free, I'll just go to somewhere nice. It's not like, just to treat myself, even if it's just to window shop at times. I'll just look around, feel happy within me, be intentional about it.
Imagine myself wearing all those nice clothes.
Because at times you just have to imagine, I was talking about how we book our holiday for the year and all. At times you just prospect something good for yourself.
Prospect something good for yourself.
And I think one of it is we boosting our self-esteem matters so much. Boosting ourselves, because depression just comes to make a mess of one's life if you are not careful. But at times you need to boost your self-esteem, learn something new, call your friend, go out for coffee together. At times we can just, we were talking about we going for spa, things like that. Talk to friends, travel together, just
see something
together.
Else other than your kitchen, your living room, your children, your spouse.
I was telling you about a friend of mine that I say, you love traveling. She said that she falls into depression on time, that she gets depressed on time, that what she does to renew her mind, to get refreshed, she traveling, going to a new environment. At least for 2 weeks she's not cooking, she's not doing anything, she's just viewing the environment, eating different food. She said that refreshes her for like 6 months. For another 6 months again she's traveling. Just do what makes you happy.
Something out of the norm.
And Rachel, I now discovered something too that we do a lot. A lot of people, when they are depressed, they eat a lot. They do all sorts. Don't do something that you will do at the moment that makes you happy, and at the end of the day, you now feel this regret coming to you.
Because you're doing it based on feelings. How you're feeling at that specific time. And then you're giving will to you're giving that power to the wrong emotions.
Like eating junk food, eating too much, taking alcohol, just for that moment. You are loving it.
Because that's how you're feeling, and you're thinking it's going to solve a problem, but then it's actually adding on more.
No, it's you know, at that moment you're enjoying it. It's just like someone that takes alcohol, and you know, at the end of the day you take that alcohol to forget all your worries. When everything is now open, you'll be like, you're still here, but you've made a mess of your whole self. If you're not careful, you just start, you know, all your organs, you start making a mess of it just because you are being depressed.
I think they say health is wealth for a reason.
You just try to get out of it. Do what makes you happy. Life
walks.
is beautiful.
Take meaningful walks. And I think even by doing that, then you're refreshing your mind, thinking of something new. But then when you stay inside, you're indoors, you're closed, curtains closed, you don't want to speak to anyone. You're giving the devil too much attention.
Exactly.
And it's normally when you're in that down, you know, that down state. Don't be there for too long. Don't, I mean, it's good to actually, you know, wallow. It's good to have a bit of pain.
But if you're there for too long, it overwhelms you.
It overwhelms
you. You know, it grips you, and to now get out will now be an issue.
And do you know that most of the times it's not what other people are saying to us. It's the voices. What we are saying to ourselves. What are we saying to ourselves? It's what are we saying to ourselves. So I think
that's why I think affirmation too is a good thing. You know, when you keep, you know, at times you even write it down, paste it all over the place. I am beautiful. I am lovely. You know, you just if you know you can't even think of it at times, when you put it somewhere, maybe you see it by your bedside, you affirm yourself every morning. Like I used to do it before I got married, before I got busy. You see it all over, you know, all the sticky notes. I put it all over the place just to make sure I reassure myself.
Constantly reassuring yourself.
And when you keep reassuring yourself, it happens to you. All of a sudden, you just see that everything will become new. Everything becomes so refreshed.
I mean, with that in mind, we had to leave. But it's really been an honor. I mean, for someone who is out there, who is feeling lonely, I mean, it's cold.
Exactly. Lonely. It's called lonely. Talk to someone. We are not an expert. We are only, you know, just sharing from our experiences, what we've read, what we heard from people. And
what we've gone through, how we felt at some point. I mean, it could be different. There are different triggers for everyone.
But please, you can speak to someone. That's why we have a phone. That's why we have the internet. Send an email to someone, and even you that are listening to me, call someone. When you have that prompt, maybe you remember someone's name, just call that. You don't know what that call is doing to that person. You don't know what that text message is doing to that person. You know, even if you are sending an emoji to that person, you don't know what you are doing to that person.
At least then they can know that, you know, someone is actually thinking of me. And it's a very nice feeling to know that someone actually cares. It is. So until next time, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Conversations on the Couch. Until next time, bye.